In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper, host of this program, known here on social media, wherever you may find me. I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number 1. Welcome to another spontaneous, thrilling episode of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. It is amazing that a small channel like mine, for some reason, attracts so much attention. What's up there, Keaton? It's amazing. It's mind-boggling to me sometimes. How does a person, you have somebody like Taalik Nasheed, you have Zaza Ali, you got Brother Polite, you got all these people with thousands and thousands of viewers. But for some reason, I don't know, attention is brought to me. I only have 10 subscribers and I only get 10 views. I'm saying nothing nobody wants to hear, but yet and still, there are those, I don't know where it comes from, but attention is focused on little old me. It's amazing. It's just mind-boggling. And this should make you think, why is so much attention being directed towards somebody that don't mean nothing? You say I don't mean nothing. I'm saying nothing. I don't have any subscribers. I don't get any views. But for some reason, when I am discovered, whatever the reason, it could be almost anything, attention is drawn towards me. Maybe I should be happy about that. I don't know. I have a very short time, so on this Venisey, let ye get Venisey, yeah. The subject that we've chosen for these few minutes is a subject that is it's a favorite subject, a well-spoken about subject. When I was in the Nation of Islam, yes, sir, Keaton. Hey, like the Fonz. Hey, what's up there, Brother Micah? Now, I also want to let you go and get started. My channels are in serious flag trouble. So, if you are looking for me, this channel, and it's gone, don't be shocked. My channels are being heavily false flagged. But like I say, if you want to keep up with me, I will let you know on my Facebook the YouTube channel I will be using. Okay? So make sure that you keep up with my Facebook. You don't have to be a Facebook friend. All my Facebook is public. So I guess you still have to have a Facebook account to see Facebook. But just do a Google search, Angel Snuff 7, Reality's Temple, and you will find me. They're not going to keep me as long as I have breath. They're not going to keep me from speaking what I have to say when all these other unrealistic, living in fantasy, entertaining, whatever they do, if they can talk, why can't I? If they can sing, if they can dance, if they can fight, if they can cuss, why can't I talk? But for some reason, they want to stop Angel Snuff 7. They don't want me to talk. And you should wonder, and you should question why they don't want this little guy to speak. Enough of that. Let's get into our subject and call it a wrap. The time and what must be done. This is the subject in the Nation of Islam. The time and what must be done. Time is a measurement of life. That's what it is. It's a measurement of life. Putting things in time. The dead, the deceased, has no use for time. Those who are in the grave have no use for time. The only ones who worry about and wonder and use time is that which is alive. The dead has no use for time. Time is strictly for the living. When life no longer is in your body, then time no longer exists. You have no use for time. But time does not last forever. Time comes in periods. Time expires. We are living in our time. We did not exist during the time of Kemet. That was a different time. And that time has expired. That is part of what we call the past. That's past time. That's past tense. The living understands time. The living. All the plants, they know when to come out of their shells, come out of the earth, and bloom and seed, and give fruit. The animals know when to breed. They know, the birds know when to build nests, and they do it in a certain period of time. We use the sun as a measurement of time because the sun and this earth and this planet is within some kind of a time period, whereas you can measure and keep up with time because as this earth rotates, it causes us to see the sun look like it's rising. And then as the earth rotates, then time expires and you see the sun goes down. Everything in the universe that we know of, everything on this planet, everything that in this reality has to be in accord with time. And when there is no time, then there is death, and that which is dead has no use for time. And when you are dealing with time, you have to learn how to be on time and work with time, because if you are not within time, if you are not within the season, then you pay a heavy consequence when you are not on time. If the bear does not eat sufficient food during summer, then that bear cannot hibernate properly, and chances are that bear may not be able to survive the winter because that bear did not act in accord with time, did not do did not understand the time, and did not do what must be done in order for that bear to survive the winter, so it can continue to be in time and live to see another portion of time. If you don't go to work on time, you're supposed to be at work at 4 o'clock and you don't get to work till 5, then there's a big chance that you will be fired. So the consequence of not being on time is you will lose your job, so you can't pay your bills. And that's going to give you a whole lot of problems. Your children are going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry. Your wife's going to... You got a problem because you failed to be in accord with time. You did not go to your job like you're supposed to do. You failed to be on time. If I'm waiting on a bus and the bus is supposed to be there at 5:15, I don't get there to 5:30, don't expect the bus to be there. You are not on time, so you will miss the bus, and of course there's consequences for you not missing the bus. Time waits for no one. And this is something that we don't understand. The dead has no use for time. The physically dead has no use for time. And the mentally dead has no use for time. This is why the so-called Negro in America, this is why the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, having African or Aboriginal or other ancestry, this is why we are in the condition that we're in. We are not physically dead, as you can see, but we're not on time because we're mentally dead. Well, you may say, brother, how could we be mentally dead and I'm Kemetic? I'm a black Christian, I'm a black Muslim, I'm a Hebrew. We are awakened. We are awakened people, so we're mentally awake. If you was truly mentally awake, then you would be on time and you would know what must be done. And you would be doing. You would not, the Nation of Islam would not be saying the same old or talking the same old subject matter if they were mentally alive. Instead of saying the time and what must be done, they will be saying the time and what we're doing, the time and what we've done. But we're still talking about the time and what must be done because clearly we must not know what to do or we're mentally dead. And time waits for no one. Time is not going to wait for you to know what to do. If you don't do it in time, if you're not in accord with time, then you miss the bus and that's it. Then you suffer the consequences of what happens when you miss the bus. It's simple as that. So we understand the time. We understand that that time is only in relation to those who are alive. That which is dead has no use for time. Time stops. There is no measurement of time. Now somebody might die and we say they died 80 years ago. The living. There is no measurement of time for those who are in the grave, whether that grave is a physical, they bound in a grave in physical dirt, or whether they are mentally here. That's why when you listen to so many people here on YouTube, they are not in accord with time because they're mentally dead. When you understand the time, when the birds and the bees and elephants and the life on this planet, they move in time because they know if they don't do it in time, there's a dire consequence. But when you're mentally dead, when you're not in accord with time, then you think that time does not expire. You have no use for time. So the so-called nigger in America, and you listen to these videos and you listen to the people, they act like they have all the time. They have all the time in the world to do what they feel is appropriate. And that's not how time works. You don't do things in the appropriate time, then it expires, and then you have to suffer the consequences of not being on time. What must be done? The key word here is must. What must be done? Must means mandatory. You must do this. You must breathe. If you do not breathe, you will die. You must eat. You must, meaning a matter of life and death. You must do this. Must do it in time. It must be done in accord with time. So for many of us, we think talking about Marcus Garvey and Kemet and even the civil rights era, that's not in time. That time has expired. So you are not in time. And clearly you don't know what must be done because you're living in a time period that you did not live. So you are out of time. That time has expired. That time no longer exists. It's a memory. Time is ever renewable. So once time expires, you don't get that back. Whatever you did yesterday, that's where it stays. You cannot do what you did yesterday today. That's not how time works. That's not how things work in our reality. Now, what gets us all tricked up is there's similar circumstance. I'm very sure there's similar circumstances from the 1960s and the 30s. We live in a similar circumstance, but don't get that confused that it's the same time. You are not your parents. This is your time. They live their time. If your parents was born in the 1930s, you cannot live like them. You can live similar to them, but you're not them. You're different. You cannot be them. You cannot live in that time period. That was a different time, and you didn't even exist. Your mother had no idea you was gonna show up when she was 2 years old and 3 years old. During her time, where was you at? We don't know. It wasn't your time. Your time did not appear until you came into this reality. But here we are trying to go back to a time that we never lived. So clearly we don't know what must be done, because what must be done during that particular moment in time. So your mother and our father, our ancestors, did what they thought, what they must do in their time. The time and what must be done. What must be done in your time. They wore bow ties and ate bean pies and marched and they voted and they did all these different things. That's something they thought they must do because they were living in an oppressive society in their time. This is your time. And it is similar, but we're different. You're trying to force something that should not exist into a time period where it should not be. Because you've been there, done that. This is your time. This is our time. So when we talk about the time and what must be done, it must be in accord with our life. our time. What we're doing today. So here you are, and you wonder why we continue to fail. Sorry about that. So we sit back and you wonder why we continue to fail. And there are those who get angry at Angel Snup Nup 7 because I remind you that you are a loser, that you are here. Because you're not in time. You're not in accord with your time. You're trying to do what somebody, you're trying to do with somebody in another time what they felt what must be done, according to what they knew. So you're marching and you're protesting and you're going to get your education. Y'all got money. You're voting. You're doing everything, and you have the information. You have the knowledge. You have the wisdom. You got all this stuff, and nothing is working for you. No matter how hard you try, no matter how pretty your speeches are, no matter how charismatic you are, no matter how articulate you are, you can't win to save your life. Because you continue to do things that somebody else felt they had to do, what must be done during that time period. It's already been done, and it failed. It did not work for them. Time does not wait for you to figure things out right, to get it right. You refuse to use your brain to come up with solutions in your time. You keep talking about what Malcolm X done and Elijah Muhammad and what Marcus Garvey done and Harriet Tubman and that's what they done in their time. What they felt they needed to do. Here you are, you're supposed to have more information, you're supposed to be wiser, you're supposed to be smarter, and you can't get nothing together. You can't get nothing done. Why is that? Why can't you get your act together? Because you're not in time. And the reality is you don't know what must be done. Do you know why they failed? Do you know why Marcus Garvey failed? Do you know why Elijah Muhammad failed? Malcolm X failed? Harriet Tubman failed? Our ancestors failed? Do you know why? Because first of all, in order to win, you must be in accordance with time. It was not time. During that time, it was not time for them to win. They were to make a path. They were to make a way. So now, here you are in 2019, you can win. So that's why I must give respect to our ancestors, because they're trying to find out the way to the win, but it wasn't time for them. It wasn't time for them to be the winner. They had to pave the way and show us the way so that we can win, so that we can win permanently. I'm not talking about the Civil Rights Bill. I'm not talking about converting people to a religion so we can look holy and righteous. I'm talking about win your freedom, justice, and equality permanently forever. You are going to get this beast off your back once and for all, and you are going to gain the respect of the world, and you're going to change humanity forever. You and I, we are the ones, and it has nothing to do with religion or being divine. It's that because of our upbringing, who we are, we can do this. But you live in the past. You're not on time. And you're listening to people, you're listening to those stuck in the past. They don't know They don't understand the time and what must be done. Our ancestors gave us clues to how to get the job done, because our people have a natural way of just being who they are. Our technical difficulties. You still with me? I know this is a boring talk. Yeah, I should be back online, Brother Micah. We should be back in business. I'm almost done. Look. Our ancestors, it wasn't meant for them to bring us out of Babylon. It was not meant for them to bring us out of Egypt. It just wasn't. It wasn't meant for them. Thank you, Brother Micah. But they gave us clues. And these clues don't go all the way back to ancient Kemet or Timbuktu or ancient Ethiopia or some ancient Hebrews. In modern times, our ancestors that we absolutely know. Okay? All right, Brother Micah. Thank you. Thank y'all in the chat room. Thank you for those who are listening. I'm almost done. We're going to get out of here. Don't you know, look, this is about you. This is what you don't understand. This is about you. This is our time. You cannot come into your own trying to be your mother and father. You respect, you honor your mother and father, but you're not them. This is what these people are trying to do. They're trying to go back to a place you did not exist. Whether you claim to be African or Aboriginal or whatever, you're trying to be something that you never was. You're not them. You're not your mother. You're not your father. And condolences to those who have lost your parents. And your parents are now with the ancestors, so to speak. They were who they were. They did their time. And now they're gone. And we will do our time. And we will be gone. The important thing is, while you're alive, to be on time and do what is correct in order to change things up, so those that come after us don't have to worry and deal with the crap that we have to deal with in our time, when we have been given the tools and the gifts and the know-how to get the job done. Unlike your mother and father, unlike Kemet, unlike the slaves, unlike those in the civil rights movement, you are living in a time given everything that you need to do in order to change the time, the betterment, the condition of those that come after you in your time. Our ancestors gave us an idea of how we should move. When I was growing up, and see, some of your ancestors are alive right now. Some of your ancestors are alive right now in nursing homes, and you don't give a damn about them. You don't visit your elderly in these nursing homes. Some of them are homeless on the street, and you just drive by. But every time you turn around, these people, oh, my ancestors, oh, the ancestors. They talking about somebody they don't know nothing about that lived 5,000, 2,000 years ago. And here you are in 2019, you have your own ancestors who you know There is no guest. And they are in nursing homes. Some of them are in prison that actually fought for the struggle, and you don't give a damn about them at all. You talking about something that happened 5,000 years ago. And you don't give a damn about the living, so you are not in time. You are not in tune with life. How you gonna care? Here you are alive. How you going to just ignore your ancestors who are alive, your elders who are alive, and give credit and brag about somebody you don't know nothing about 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, even 100 years ago? Marcus Garvey wasn't that long ago. You don't know nobody that was with Marcus Garvey. And if some of them still are alive, you don't give a damn about them. You talk about what somebody did 5,000 years ago. But you don't care nothing about those who are alive. So that shows me that you are mentally dead. And the dead and the dead has no concern with that which is alive. I'm talking to you because you are alive. I don't have no concern. That's nice what happened 5,000 years ago. That's nice what happened 50 years ago. I'm talking about the now. What we gonna do now? Are you going to get in accord with the now? Who's alive now? The ancestors who are alive now. I'm not talking about all those years ago. Get in tune with the time. That's past tense. Your paycheck from last week don't mean nothing this week because you took that paycheck, did whatever you needed to do. Now you're dealing with a brand new paycheck. That's over with. You might have made $500 last week. You only made $100 this week. Who cares about what you did last week? The $500. Because now you only have $100 this week. You can't go into the past. It's over. It's expired. Our people live in the past. These past religions. Islam, 1,400 years ago. Christianity, 2,000 years old. And so we live in the past. Stuck, like they say, in some kind of matrix. Stuck in the past. I'm going to tell you what your Bible said. I'm going to tell you what your Bible said. Our ancestors gave us a clue what we really need to do. Because they didn't get a chance to do it. When I was growing up, you had Black Power family, but you also had Soul Power family. We had soul food. Of course, you had Soul Train, soul music. We call ourselves soul brothers and sisters. And this is a label that comes from us. It did not come from the Peckerwood. It did not come from Africans. When you think about soul brothers and sisters, it's talking about us. Nobody else can claim that. Y'all want to claim somebody else hand-me-downs. I'm an African, belong to somebody else. I'm an Egyptian, belong to somebody else. I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim. All these titles and religions belong to somebody else. Why? Because you so dumb? You too stupid to create your own? But see, our ancestors show us that we are creators, that we are gods ourselves, if you want to use that terminology. We can do it ourselves. I don't need to, it's nice, I mean, if you want to borrow something from an African culture, that's nice, or the Native American culture, or European, whatever, you can borrow that. That's not you. Accept your own and be yourself. That's your number one problem. But see, our ancestors knew, and they were grooving, and they were in time because they said, we got soul. We different from everybody else. And they called themselves soul brothers and sisters. And you can be Kemetic, you can be a Christian, you can be a crackhead and a weed smoker, and you still got soul. So the concept of soul, you can be African, but you're under the concept of soul because you are a descendant of slave, born in America, having dark skin, with African or Aboriginal or other ancestry. So it all falls under this one umbrella. And when somebody talk about soul brother and sister, there's only one people you can think about. You're not going to be confused with nobody else on the planet. See, when you say African, who are you talking about? African from the Congo, or Zulu, or are you from Liberia? Who are you talking about? But see, when you say soul, and I'm an African, I'm an African born in America. See? But I'm not them. I'm doing my own, like James Brown said, get up, I'm doing my own thing. Jump back, kid myself. Hey! See, that's us. The Mississippi campaign, well, see, there are those who will make mockery of that, but that's what our ancestors gave us, the ones that we actually know. The living. That's what they gave us. It did not come from Angel Snub No. 7, so you can make mockery and you can laugh. You're laughing at your own people expressing themselves, who they are. They're not copycatters, plagiarists like your happy ass is. You a plagiarist. You want to be an Arab. You want to be an African. You want to be some Native American person that you never knew. Our ancestors was just, hey man, I'm just being myself. Slap me some skin, brother. Slap me some skin. We developed language. It was English, but it was something only us understood. Y'all call it Ebonics. It's our own language. Yeah, it's English, but we put our own spin on it. We put our own swag on it. Huh. Hey, baby, it belonged to us. Matter of fact, so-called Ebonics was so good, they had to make a Ebonics dictionary so other people can understand our jive, our groove. People like the way we move, the way we do things. We got swag. We got something that nobody on the planet got. Even your Africans, hey baby, want to be like, they want to have some soul. You want to be like them, and they trying to be like you. You trying to be like some born-ass people from 5,000 years ago. You impressed by their technology or whatever. You have the potential because you are alive to be greater than they would ever have imagined. Oh, man. Woo! It's a beautiful thing. So, you have a problem with being a soul man. You have a problem with the ancestors because they gave it to you. The white man is the one who made you black. The white man is the one who made you African. No African taught you that. You learned it from your oppressor. He's the one that called you African. He's the one that called you Native American. All that. All this stuff you was not taught by Native Americans or these African people. You got it all from your oppressor. So, since y'all know your history, so you claim, you know the history, you have the information, all this kind of stuff, so you claim, then you know the progress our ancestors made once they were free from physical bondage. And you knew the suffering and the hell they had to endure. But they still, because they had soul, they just dealt with it Even when our ancestors were slaves, they knew how to tolerate the oppression. Which is good and it's bad. It's bad because it don't let you fight and get out from under the oppression once and for all. But we learn how to just maneuver around a vicious enemy. You know, when the enemy did this, we knew how to swag and move over here. We knew how to dance with the peckerwood. Yeah, you know, that's how we knew. We learned how to do that. And y'all still do that to this day. But now that type of behavior is out of time. And there's going to be a consequence to continue in that type of direction. So, just naturally, you want to make mockery of the Mississippi campaign, you making mockery of your ancestors because they had already, just being themselves and what they were doing, was putting themselves in positions where they could have easily taken control of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, these type of states. They were already doing that. I'm not bringing to us nothing new. They were already doing these things. The United States government took the federal troops out of the South, and that's when our ancestors began to get terrorized by those peckerwoods in the South. That's why they could not take control of Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, and a state, because they were forced to run. They were forced to flee. They was put in a position where they could not continue to progress the way they were doing because of domestic terrorism. So you want to laugh at the Mississippi campaign, you're laughing at your ancestors, and you're laughing at yourself. Because this is something that could have been done a long time ago. But it wasn't time. Now you are in a position to do what they could not do. And that's something in the past they wasn't able to try. But they were getting ready to do it. There was an effort to destroy calling ourselves soul. And the first thing that was attacked was the music. They changed soul music to R&B. And they started to call this culture that we developed of soul, wanted to just call it black culture. And just kick the name out. It's a lot of things in a name. Because if we kept moving and progressing and identifying ourselves as soul brothers and sisters, it gets you out of this race garbage, this race trap. And that's why many of you're not going to progress, because you miss out on many opportunities because you're caught up in that race crap that a racist put you in. When you're talking about the time reflects change. And you don't want to change. You want to go back 5,000 years ago, back to the 1960s, back to the 1930s, back to Africa. You just got to go back to places you've never been. People you never been, time periods you never been. You want to be some kind of space traveler or something. In some type of time machine. This goes to show that you are mentally dead. And the dead have no use for time. Time expires. You do what is required within time. If you don't do it, then you suffer the consequences. And right now, we are on the verge of running out of time. You think that you have all the time in the world to become the new Marcus Garvey, the new Malcolm X, the new Farrakhan, the new Elijah Muhammad, the new Jesse Jackson, the new something old. Something that you're not. People that don't exist no more. Time means change. And you don't want to change. We are comfortable Negroes. You are satisfied with your pretty car in the driveway and your, hell, some of y'all are satisfied with your EBT card and your Section 8 housing. Some of y'all satisfied with that. As long as you can play on YouTube and Facebook, as long as you can go down to Popeyes and get a crispy chicken sandwich, y'all all right. It's all good. Time is not going to wait for us to do the right thing. So time passes on to another generation. If they know what must be done. We don't know what must be done. This is what the Bible says. Your Bible. It says that your God comes to make things all new. So if the God is coming to make things all new, what do it look like for you to try to be like Marcus Garvey or Elijah Muhammad or the Egyptians or other people that's been here for thousands of years? Your God is supposed to come here and make things all new. And you're trying to go back to the old. God said no. Your God said no. Yes, sir, Brother Mike. Your God said no. I make all things new to create a new heaven and a new earth. This is not to say that the earth is going to be new and the heaven is going to be new. Because you take things that's recycled, like this bottle. This bottle is made out of recycled plastic, but it's a new bottle. To take that which is old, to take kemet, to take what they used to do in Africa, to take all these things of old and make something brand new out of it and give it soul. Do you understand? Oh man, I wish I could make y'all understand, because you're missing out. We could be the greatest generation ever. Not only change America, but you can change the world, the human experience as we know it. We can flip all this crap around by working on ourselves. You just don't understand. So your God says in your scripture, behold, I make all things new, to create a new heaven and a new earth, and the former things shall pass away. If you knew and you could see who you are being new, you'd be happy to let the former things pass away. This is not to say you always remember your mother and your father and great-grandmothers and the past. This is not to say that we forget those things. We have museums and we always hold special our ancestors. This is not to say that we forget the past, but you're not the past. You are alive. And so you do what a living person is supposed to do. You're supposed to be in accord with the time. And you're supposed to know what must be done. So next speech, my next talk should not be about the time and what must be done. The next speech needs to be the time and what we're doing and what we've done. And what we've done was finally free ourselves from an oppressor once and for all. We've liberated ourselves from an oppressor. Accept your own and be yourself. We are soul brothers and sisters. This is why our ancestors gravitated and directed us to ourselves, our own being. Yes, you carry African blood. Yes, you carry Aboriginal blood. But you're not them. Accept your own and be yourself. It's as simple as that. All these costumes that you put on, trying to look like some ancient Hebrew and some Egyptian and an Arab and all this other stuff, that's not you. Accept your own and be yourself. And dictate. We as a people dictate who and what we are. Under this umbrella of soul, If you want to. If you want to. If you want to continue to hold on to some of that, perfectly fine. But you're a soul brother, but you Kemetic. You're a soul brother, but you're a Hebrew. You're a soul brother, but you're Christian. You're a soul brother, but you're Muslim. But this is your family. This is the people that you belong to. This is your life. This is you. All that other stuff is not you. And if these other people want to be your brother, they want to be your sister, then that's fine. If they want to be your relations, that's fine. But be who you are, and you'll get more respect. Nobody is going to continue to respect us trying to be somebody that we're not, because they know we're not them. We have the problem. We have the identity problem because we think that we are somebody that we never was. I'm proud to be a soul brother. I'm proud of Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver and W.E.B. Du Bois. W.E.B., I keep getting that tongue-tied on that. W.E.B. Du Bois and all our people, our scientists, our mathematicians. Not only then, but we got them right now. And we don't even give a damn about our people who are injured. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be out of here. I have a cousin that's a professor, incredible mathematician. Algebra, trigonometry, all that stuff, she blew it all out the water. A genius. My cousin. And probably in your family you got people. Those are the people that, the living, those are the ones that we need to see. Those are the ones that we need to put on a pedestal. The dead cannot help you anymore. It's the living. Put our living on the pedestal. There's brothers and sisters on YouTube that show you how to grow food, even if you're not in a rural area, how to grow food in pots and buckets. We need that information. Y'all don't care nothing about them. But then when you get hungry, then what? But you could have learned how to grow our own food in a bucket, on a porch in the back. Even if you live in the city, grow you some tomatoes in a bucket in a pot. What you want to listen to is foolishness. Who beefing? Argue over are you an African or you an Aboriginal? All that stuff don't mean nothing when you dead. And the next step, you're going to find yourself in a mass grave with a bullet in the back of your head. And all that's not going to mean a damn thing. Then you will be accepting your own. You will be physically dead just like you was mentally dead. You don't know what to do. You're comfortable in your foolishness. You're comfortable in this fantasy world that you built. You live in Wakanda with the Black Panther or whatever. And definitely, whether you like it or not, y'all will have a little success. But without the ability, without being able to unify the whole 40 to 70 million in this country, we're done. If you cannot come up with something where everybody can basically agree, see, that's the key. When we called ourselves soul brothers and sisters, when I was growing up, I didn't hear nobody complaining, talking about, don't call me no soul brother. I don't remember hearing nobody like that. It was something that basically everybody accepted, whether you was a dope fiend or whether you was some hotshot politician. Hey brother, I'm a soul brother. Hey, slap me some skin. There was no argument like what y'all see now. I ain't no African, I ain't no Aboriginal, I ain't this, I ain't that. But see, you got something that your ancestors gave you that is easily acceptable. It has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with, it's just you. It's just us being us. And then we come together, take control of a state, get you some power, and you decide if you want to stay here, that's cool. But if y'all want to leave, now you put yourself in a position you can exodus, organize, you have an organized exodus. See, you do both. You want to stay in America? That's cool. You can stay here. But for those who are sick and tired of the foolishness, now you put yourself in a position where other countries, other places, because you become a new person. You regain your soul. Now others don't mind that you come to their borders and embracing you. Be yourself. Because you have something to offer. You become a brand new human being. Because you allowed the former things to pass away. And you get your soul back. This mentally dead person. You get your soul back. You just don't understand your potential because you don't know who you are because y'all lost. They're keeping y'all lost in the past. You're more than a singer. You're more than a dancer. You're more than a preacher. You keep talking about God, but you don't understand. But you don't understand nothing about being a God in real time. You talk it, but you don't know how to walk it. How you a God copying somebody else? Plagiarizing somebody else? How you a God? How you a king and queen and don't know how to create your own kingdom? You a God, but you don't produce a damn thing. You copying people. What kind of God are you? You copying what some other God done a long time ago. Accept your own and be yourself. Get your soul back, brothers and sisters. I'm in your Snow number 7. Thank you for listening. Jot down your comments, sub. Like I say, my channel is under severe flagging. So if you try to see me in the next few minutes, I could be gone. I would suggest, if you want to keep up with me, friend me on Facebook, The Reality's Temple on Earth, or Taalik Ibn'rad. Keep up with me on Facebook, because I'm going to be here somewhere on YouTube, okay? As long as YouTube is free, I'm going to be here. Now, when they start charging, it might be different. But see, if YouTube started charging, they can't flag you like that because you paying your money. See, it's free, so they can flag and people can play games because it's free. I wish YouTube would charge to be here, because then all that flagging stuff would stop, because I'm paying my money. And you're going to have to prove that I'm spreading hate speech and all this other silly nonsense. Matter of fact, I'm truly thinking about suing Google. All the videos that been flagged talk about hate speech. You're a damn lie, Google. I'm talking to Google. You are a liar. You just don't want this heat. You just don't want this truth to get to the people. For whatever reason. Y'all some demons. I took you to court once, and I'll do it again. That's not no problem. Because you need to prove to a court, because what YouTube is doing is slander and defamation of character. And chances are, if I go to court with your happy ass again, Google, I'm going to win this time. You barely slipped the first time. I'm going to get your ass this time. And I'm talking to Google. I know they monitor and listen to everything. I'm talking to Google. You know I will sue your happy ass. And chances are I'll win this time. Because I got the information. I got what I need this time. With your lying ass. All the videos, hate speech. And you ask them how, they don't respond how. In a court of law, you're going to tell that judge, whether that judge is black or white, you're going to tell that judge how what I'm talking about is hate speech. You demons. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, as they say. Anyway, we out of here. Thank you, Michael. Thank y'all, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. And until next time, accept your own, be yourself. I'm Audi 5000. As Dr. Cornelius always taught us, I wish us love, peace, and soul.